I just needed to get this off my chest because I don't really have anybody else to talk to. So I thought I'd talk. I thought I'd get this out on camera. Essentially, what I'm doing is I'm treating the live like a video diary, and I really shouldn't, but I just don't know what else to do. I can't keep it to myself, I'll die. I haven't slept since yesterday. As for the reason as to why I can't sleep, it's just a simple case of my circadian rhythms being out of whack. I don't know if it's the gang stalking that's caused it. Truth be told, I'm guessing it's not. If I'm honest with you, I think it's just I stayed up late one too many times, and now my circadian rhythm is out of whack. And it's causing me to have episodes, borderline episodes, where I'm dissociating, and anxiety episodes where my thoughts are really, really loud. So the borderline part is where I dissociate and I go into different places in my head. The entire time, I know that where I go to in my head is not real. So it's not like you're hallucinating the shit. It's like the places that you're going into your head aren't real. And all you're really doing as a borderline person is using the very vivid imagination that you have to provide an avatar for your emotions, or to have people in place as avatars for your emotions. And the anxiety part is when these particular thoughts or visions that you have are loud in nature. So the dissociating part is the borderline, and the loudness of it is down to the anxiety, because when you have anxiety, your thoughts are extremely loud, very, very powerful. And the combination of the two would usually have me talking out loud or thinking out loud to myself. It used to be for hours, but it's not the same anymore. It only happens like sporadically now. It's not as intense as it used to be, like just nowhere near as intense as it used to be. But when I do go through incidents like that, even if I don't talk out loud, I still feel ashamed of myself. And it will happen when you have an episode. Whenever you have an episode and you're cognitive, you end up going on this shame spiral that makes you punish yourself in other ways. So for example, today I had a dissociative episode with anxiety, and my way of punishing myself subconsciously is not sleeping, is not letting myself sleep, not letting myself ignore what other people say about me or my illness. And that is something that I've done since I was young, punish myself for how other people treat me. So it's a combination of shame and my illness. The reason why I'm still not sleeping, it's like 7:30 in the morning. I'm still not sleeping because I'm ashamed and I'm anxious and I'm borderline, and I'm finding it difficult to get the shame out of my system. And I realized that all my life I've been surrounded by people who did not help, who couldn't even handle their own emotions, let alone mine, and let alone the explosion of emotions that was coming out of me. And I'm not going to excuse them for it. I'm not going to excuse the people around me by saying they did the best they could, but I just want to know how to stop punishing myself because of how other people treat me. I want to stop punishing myself for being sick. It's already bad enough that gang stalking will go out of its way to make me sick. That's bad enough as it is. It's also bad enough as it is that I go through electronic torture. I go through so much fucking shit every single day. And I've been going through this since I was a child. Like, how much more shit am I going to give myself? That's the thing that really kills me. It's not the fact that other people are mean to me. I don't even like people. It's like, I never fucking liked them to begin with. People are garbage. I never liked people. I never liked them. And people always mistook my codependency for liking people. I've never liked people my whole life. I've never liked them my whole life. I just wish that I could take their meanness and not take it internally and just not punish myself with other people's meanness. And I wish I could not feel embarrassed about being borderline and being anxious or being depressed. I wish I could just not feel embarrassed about it, because it's a fucking illness. It's not like I'm choosing to have it. It's an illness. If people call me crazy over something I can't control, I mean, that's up to them, innit? I can't control the shit. They can control their mouth, but I can't control my illness. I can't control that. I could take medications for it, but it's not the same. I have it, and it's not my fault. It's not anyone's fault, but it's not my fault. So I just wish that I could stop being mean to myself. I wish I could stop the shame spiral. Every time I have a panic attack or an anxiety episode or a borderline episode, I just wish I could let myself sleep and just not punish myself for for other people's ignorance. Another thing that I wish, whilst we're talking, another thing that I wish, and I don't know if there's anybody out there who can relate to this, I wish I knew how to deal with conflict in a reasonable manner. Now, because of the way I was raised, what I'm likely to do is either duck confrontation, or when I find myself in confrontation, go over the top. That's another reason why the gang stalkers will sometimes try to get gang stalkers talking to me as a tactic, because I don't do well with confrontation. I'm good at explaining myself, and I'm good at, reasoning things out, because I've had to practice. I've had to make my arguments inassailable, because I've had to make myself extremely difficult to argue with, because all my life I've been verbally and emotionally battered. So I've had to make myself very difficult to argue with. But I still have trouble dealing with conflict properly. I still have trouble telling people to fuck off when I absolutely should do. And I still have trouble, a lot of people think that, I'm fierce or whatever. And I, truth be told, I've kind of put myself out there as being fiercer than I actually am. But the truth of the matter is that either I duck from confrontation or I go too fucking far, because that's what I was taught. And I kind of don't want to do that anymore. In order for me to do good in this world, in order for me to do good for myself, I've got to have conflict. And I don't mean going out looking for it. I mean, I've got to face it. People fight. And sometimes the more you deny yourself the opportunity to take people head on, even if you lose, when you deny yourself the opportunity to confront somebody or take them head on, sometimes you deny yourself the opportunity to learn a lesson. Sometimes you deny yourself the opportunity to strengthen yourself and to strengthen what you're on this earth for. Like, it's like you deny yourself what's really important sometimes when you don't know how to confront people properly and you don't know how to fight. Do you understand what I mean? And when I say fight, I don't mean getting in fisticuffs. I mean knowing how to handle conflict, not minding conflict. Do you understand what I mean? Not minding it. And, and I realize that because of that, whenever I get anxious, it's like my anger takes on an avatar that I unleash all my frustrations on. So I never actually get angry with the people that I'm angry at inside my head. It's always someone else. It's always someone that I haven't met or someone that is not close to me in proximity or even in relationships. It's always, whenever somebody pisses me off in this space, in my present space, I always visualize somebody that's not the person that makes me angry. And they become the avatar for my anger, for me to unleash, because I'm over here thinking subconsciously it's a victimless crime. There's nobody here. And if I don't defend myself, then nobody can attack me, right? But you just end up poisoning yourself when you do that. And who benefits from all of that? My enemies. The people who wanted a reason to attack me just for existing. They benefit from that. I don't benefit from that. I don't benefit from that at all. And this is the thing about borderline. You feel every single emotion, even when you're angry and you should be angry. It feels like that's the only emotion you're ever going to feel. Of course, you need to dissociate to get your mind right. When you're angry, it feels like that's the only emotion you're ever going to feel. When you're anxious, it feels like that's the only emotion you're ever going to feel. When you feel ashamed, you feel like that's the only emotion you're ever going to feel. Who the fuck needs that? My God. And I don't even know if I've talked out loud or not today. I've been up since about what, 5? I've been up since fucking, how long? Since 11 o'clock yesterday morning. And I don't know what's going on. And the worst part is that the worst part about being borderline and having anxiety and depression is that everything that you're going through as a result of all the abuse that you've gone through, it's weaponized against you in order to give you treatments that knowingly don't work and make your mental health worse. So I really wanted to avoid coming online and talking about this at all, but not only do I not have someone to talk to right now, I feel like it's important to get this information out there so that people understand targets can have mental illnesses. They can. And what I'm not going to allow anymore, like I've said in several videos, what I'm not going to allow is people to use the legitimate mental health issues of targeted individuals to deny what's actually happening to us. That's why I come online and I explain what's wrong with me. I've got borderline. I've been abused all my fucking life. Sexually abused, mentally abused, physically abused. And all of that is still happening now. So like, why wouldn't I have borderline? Why wouldn't I have complex post-traumatic stress disorder? Why would I not have any of these things after being abused? What kind of normal person goes through everything that they've gone through and not have all these issues to contend with? Not to mention the poisoning and the torture of whole communities of people that were already going through all the issues that I'm talking about. They were already going through it without the additional gang stalking, without the additional torture, without the additional infiltration of communities. My people were already going through that. And then with gang stalking, we just had to make it worse. Don't get it twisted. I'm not using it as an excuse for my life. I live my life my way. It didn't pan out the way I wanted it to. That's me. That's a me problem. But I'm just explaining how, you know, it just doesn't work that somebody will go through that much abuse and leave unscathed. You'd have to have an antisocial personality disorder for that to fucking happen. There is just no way. And that's why I come online to talk about this, because it's like, not only do I know that my mental health will be used against me to try to set me up if I don't say something, it's also so that targeted individuals don't have to deny if there's something wrong with them. You don't have to deny it. You don't have to play that game. They're going to try to paint you as paranoid schizophrenic so that they can weaponize something that they fucking caused against you. You don't have to deny there's something wrong with you. You don't have to deny that you don't have, illnesses. Look up the effects of torture. When you have pain inflicted on you, you're going to hurt. I get why you don't want to say anything, and I get why you don't want to give these bastards a satisfaction, because they're not only are they the ones who caused it, they want to make it even worse because they don't think they've broken your spirit enough. No wonder you don't want to admit to mental illnesses that you might have. Who the fuck would want to admit it to a world who only wants to make it worse? But if you can get one thing from me this morning, is that as a targeted individual, you are not alone in this. If you've got some kind of emotional dysregulation, if you've got some kind of mental health disorder, like, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. And I know what it's like. And also I know what it's like to have that weaponized against you so that you can be institutionalized and have your soul killed. But it doesn't mean you have to repress yourself. It doesn't mean you have to let other people's stigma tell you who you are. You don't have to allow that shit. You don't have to allow it. You don't have to allow it. You see, I didn't even want to come online. Now I realize this is important. It's important so the rest of you guys know. You're not alone. You don't have to hide who you are. You just have to know how to be self-aware, take care of yourself as much as you can, and try, for the love of God, to go easy on yourself. The life of a targeted individual, I don't care whether you have emotional dysregulation or not. It's not for the faint-hearted. These people go out of their way to rob you of all your self-preservation, all your executive functioning, so that you are lost without them, without the same people abusing you. That's how they want you set up. Don't be afraid to admit what you have, because it's not an indictment on you. It's an indictment on your abusers. It's an indictment on your torturers. It's an indictment on your murderers. Your mental illness, if you have it, it's not an indictment on you. It's an indictment against the people who've hurt you. It's a testament of their character, not yours. Yeah, this was necessary. I'm glad I did this. you know. So now, not only do I get some people to talk to, you get somebody who can actually relate to what you're going through. And if it helped in any way, I'm glad that it did. Part of me doesn't want to go to sleep now because I want to get my circadian rhythms back in order. My body wants to sleep so fucking bad, but like, nah. Like, my mind doesn't want to sleep for a different reason now. I originally didn't want to sleep because I was ashamed of myself, but now I don't want to sleep so that I can get my circadian rhythm back in order. But my body is so tired, my God. I might just nap the whole day today. No, this shit ain't a joke, man. I might just nap for the whole fucking day. My God, man. Being a target is not for the weak. And especially not a target with mental illness, boy. And that's one thing I'm happy to say I'm not. I'm not a weak bitch. Never been a weak bitch, ever. Well, actually, no, that's not true. But I'm a strong person. I'm a tough cookie. And if you're a TI, I guarantee you so are you. You just have to give yourself a break long enough to figure it out. Oh, so anyway, my fellow TIs, I have to get going. I'm going to fucking nap the whole day. I doubt I'm going to get much sleep because my neighbors are going to be banging all over the place during the morning, knowing that I'm sleeping because that's what they like to do. But I'm going to try and give my body some rest anyway. Okay? So, I love you guys. I'm going to love you and leave you. Peace and blessings. And yeah, I hope you got something out of this video. Take care. I love you. Bye-bye.